There's nothing like the face-to-face communication for trust building, familiarity, and knowing someone on a deeper level than strangers across a screen. So we always noticed a great uptick in community morale after an event, and people much more willing to speak, and catch up with people that they met in person and build those relationships from there. The founder of Linux Foundation would always say, hey, we're in the relationship business, and hosting excellent events is a big part of that. It's important to have a great events team to handle the logistics, and it's really important to have excellent audio and video support, and that's where your expertise comes in and is very important.
Welcome, Brandon. I'm super excited to have you on the podcast. Can you tell the listeners about your background? You've been an event stakeholder driving the development and direction for many events.
Yeah, certainly. So I'm Brandon Wick, and I head up marketing for a company called NetActuate. We do global edge infrastructure and networking services with a presence around the world in 45 plus locations. And in this role, I handle all types of marketing, from the branding to the messaging, content development, communications, websites, email, social media, and importantly, events. And I've been working in technology marketing now for about 20 years, and attending events as well as hosting events has been part of my job all that time.
Wow, that's fun. So is NetActuate like a CDN?
It's similar. Yeah, we have infrastructure that supports content delivery, high performance, low latency, security, those types of things. But actually, CDNs are our clients. So we provide some underlying infrastructure for them.
That's fun. Is it all edge stuff?
Oh, yeah. We are your partner at the network edge is our new tagline that I co-developed with some people. But that also just really speaks to our emphasis on being a reliable and communicative partner. One of the larger shops, it's kind of like, hey, here's what we got, take it or leave it. But we have a really consultative approach for people that want to have customized requirements, want to do unique things. They can talk with our engineers and figure out a solution that works.
That's super cool. So, hey, in all of your events, what's your favorite event you've ever attended or put together?
I've been thinking about that, and of the many options, been certainly a part of many great ones. I'm going to have to go with the OPNFV Summit in Berlin, 2016, almost 10 years ago now. Were you at that one too?
I think so. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
What made it your favorite?
Well, it was a newer community at that point. It was growing. There was a lot of excitement about the future and what was on the horizon. Then, of course, you're in a beautiful city like Berlin, and our venue and hotel was close to the Tiergarten and the Brandenburg Arch, which was a nice setting. And we certainly put a lot of time and effort into the planning, which is very important for execution. But we also dedicated time into developing a theme, and the branding and the visuals and the messaging around that theme to help tie it all together. And the event was happening at the same time as the European Football Championships.
Yes.
So we decided to play on that and tie that into what we did.
Yeah. Actually, now that you mentioned that, I totally remember Heather in the scarves up, and that's really cool.
That's it. So We put TVs in the foyer and in the event spaces so people could check in on the games. They feel like they weren't missing
Oh,
it
yeah.
100%, right? And those places, I had a lot of people and was fostering a lot of conversations because it's such an international event and people from all different countries, European countries, playing or not playing. It was just a great way to bring people together. And the scarves that you mentioned, our swag was football fan style scarves that people wear around their neck and go to the football games. And we designed it so that on the end of the scarf was the logo of our project. And when you brought it to two sides of the scarf together in front, it made the logo. So it had half on one side, half on the other. That was pretty cool. And then, like you said, during her keynote event, she emphasized community building and working together for the common good, oftentimes in between competitors. So in the open source world, you've got people from competing companies, but they're there with a different hat on, really as builders and problem solvers and trying to build the components that are common to the industry that everyone can use and everyone finds value from. So, that naturally ties into sports when you've got two different players from different clubs who come together on their national team. And then they're fighting for their country and not representing their club. So it's a way to kind of bring that together. And she would always say, the name on the front of the jersey is a heck of a lot more important than the name on the back. And she stole that from a hockey movie, but it was certainly relevant for the occasion. And then at the end of that keynote, she asked the crowd to wave their scarves and got everyone fired up for the 2 days of activities that were to follow. The other tie-in we did, normally we do like a run at an event on one of the mornings for active people, and instead we did a friendly pickup football match in the nearby park, which was really fun.
Did you play?
I did not play. I was injured.
Oh,
so I watched.
That sounds super fun. I didn't know that part. So yeah, that was a killer event. I really enjoyed that one from a AV perspective or a recording and streaming perspective. It was a multi-day event, multiple or concurrent breakout rooms happening at the same time. Do you remember how many people attended?
Oh, I think we landed around 600. I could be wrong, but it was pretty good size. Probably 3 times the amount as our first event.
Wow, that's killer. You mentioned it was a young community. Do you know how big the community in general it was at that point?
Let's see. We were 2 years in. We measure community in a number of ways. Number of developers working on the project, and then there are people around those developers as well, representatives of their companies who are like product managers, product marketers, business executives. They would attend the event as well. So it's a little hard to say, but it was a young community, and I think we got most of the people there. Maybe so if we had 600, maybe the total community was 1,000. We didn't.
Wow, that's huge.
Have good measurement
Yeah.
on community size. Code contributors and people that come to our events. So that's just an estimate.
Yeah, but it was at that time, that was a pretty remarkable community in that, you had AT&T, Verizon, major telecommunication competitors working together.
Yeah. Most of the big carriers were there from North America, Europe, Asia, and They signed up on an idea. Someone wrote a white paper that this approach to software-defined networking in the form of these virtual network functions were something that was now possible, with the underlying hardware, and something that did some structure around it, lest it spin off in many different proprietary directions. And what was so cool is that they, could come to a common agreement on the foundational elements, build that first, and then grow and improve on those over time with each subsequent code release. So every time a year, came around where we do the next summit, there was a lot of progress and new opportunities springing out of it.
That's amazing. So one of my questions was going to be, how did you extend the conference beyond the conference? Having been there, I know that we recorded it, we streamed it. The videos were put up on YouTube. Am I missing anything?
Yeah, there's, I can't remember if that one was live streamed or not. Some of them were. Recording the videos is a key element for sure, to capture the learnings and to provide value to the participants and the sponsors. So once we had that archive of material, we were able to then, post that, promote that, link to it. We would share it with the community. They would share it. And then it helps, extend the reach, especially for people that couldn't make it. But even, for people that could, they go back and thought that was a great session. I want to go see what he said about this, that, or the other. And it gives us more content to work through the content pipelines until the next.
And for new community members to get up to speed on where the community's at, and potentially tech updates and how to tweak things.
Yeah. And that's a really important point. You always want to put out a welcome mat and meet people where they are. And unless you put some thought and effort into that, communities can just become closed off, by their nature, and new participants don't really know how to plug in. So you definitely want to be proactive with your welcome messaging, provide get started guides for sure that point people to all these different places where they can go to get up to speed, including those videos. And then when, you have an event, you want to welcome anyone, who would feel inclined to come, but is a little bit unsure. So you communicate around the event. You also communicate that welcomeness, striving for diversity, and from the registration forms to the on-site accessibility, food options, gender neutral bathrooms, daycare if it's in the budget, and just that openness to a conversation. And it was always great when I would meet new community members, welcome them in, ask what their interests are, and try to point them in the right direction.
Yeah, I was going to mention the hallway track, and I know at open source events, it is such a, it's usually people's favorite part of the event. Do you have any tips for how to make that an even better experience?
Yeah. And for those that, aren't familiar, this is all the time in between the scheduled sessions where people are networking and mingling with each other. I would start by just communicating to the presenters, that it's important to be open to people, who have questions. Not all questions are going to get answered in the session themselves. So, make yourself available, for people that want to come talk to you, because it's usually the presentations that's a kickoff of that idea.
Mm-hmm.
And for people attending a session, when they see the speaker either right after or at a social event or in the hallway, it's just a chance to say, hey, I enjoyed your talk. You mentioned this, and I was wondering if you could explain that a little bit more. Where I'm coming from is from this place, and is there an integration point? Could we collaborate? Things like that. And I think, in that environment, people understand that, and they enjoy it, and they, like you said, feel that it's sometimes the most valuable part of meeting people and making connections.
Yeah. Do you, I can't remember any real speed bumps to that event, but do you? Any, anything that we overcame as a team or?
Nothing major on that one. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
I think in some of the slides, some info got there through that was supposed to be taken out, or there was a typo, or a slide got changed in order. I'm not sure. And I take that accountability on myself. I was the one finalizing that slide deck on the flash stick and handing it to you to plug in and show up on the screen. But not a lot of people noticed. And Heather, also just our keynote speaker, just like handled it like it was no big deal at all. So that was ended up being a minor thing. And that's a important point to emphasize, that don't stress. If something goes wrong, something will always go wrong. It's just how you react to it with professionalism, calmness, and then take that as a lesson for improvement in the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good advice. Always best to stay calm.
Indeed.
Well, that's about it for me. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, I just love this concept here, and having specific discussions around events, what makes them good, ideas for others to use. People dedicate their time and resources to come out and be in an event. So it's incumbent on us event organizers to have it well thought out, well planned, and well executed. So this is an important area of study, if you will. And events have always been around. They'll always be around. There's nothing like the face-to-face communication for trust building, familiarity, and knowing someone on a deeper level than strangers across a screen. So we always noticed a great uptick in community morale after an event, and people much more willing to speak, and catch up with people that they met in person, and build those relationships from there. The founder of Linux Foundation would always say, hey, we're in the relationship business, and hosting excellent events is a big part of that. It's important to have a great events team to handle the logistics, and it's really important to have excellent audio and video support, and that's where your expertise comes in and is very important.
Well, hey, thank you. Yeah, and thanks for being a guest. This has been super fun.
Thanks for having me, Tim. All the best.
Yes. And with that, I'll let you go.
Okay. Catch you
Thank
next time.
you.